Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I am Anil Thomas. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. India's Prime Minister and French President reaffirmed their shared vision that India-France strategic partnership can help build prosperity. Israel says that its defense forces have killed at least 11 terrorists over the past 24 hours in battles in Gaza. Jasprit Bumrah's 2 quick wickets halt England's momentum in the second innings of the first Test match in Hyderabad. Home side eyes more wickets in the second session. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi and French President Emmanuel Macron reaffirmed their vision that the India-France strategic partnership can build prosperity and also resilience in their economies, advance their country's security and a more sustainable and healthier future for planet Earth. In a joint statement, India and France reaffirmed their commitment to jointly address the interconnected challenges of climate change, biodiversity loss and pollution. The two leaders look forward to the 3rd UN Ocean Conference, which will be held in Nice in 2025. They commended UAE's leadership in the successful conduct of COP28 in Dubai. President Macron commended India's offer to host COP33 in 2028. He also affirmed France's support for India's candidacy to the International Energy Agency. The two leaders stressed in particular the urgent need for the reform of the United Nations Security Council. The leaders underlined the need for the reform of multilateral development banks, shared common vision for the Indo-Pacific region. Defense and security partnership has been the cornerstone of India-France partnership in the Indo-Pacific region. India welcomed the forthcoming French summit on artificial intelligence, and both leaders acknowledged the France-India civil nuclear ties, and the leaders welcomed the outcomes of the first bilateral dialogue under the India-France roadmap on blue economy and ocean governance in Paris on the 12th of October last year, and agreed to strengthen their ongoing partnership. India and France have firmed up a defense industrial partnership roadmap that would provide for co-development and co-production of key military hardware and platforms, and also facilitate technology collaboration in a range of areas which include space exploration, land warfare, cyberspace, and artificial intelligence.
India and France have adopted a roadmap for defense industrial partnership during French President Emmanuel Macron's state visit to India. A letter of intent was signed between the Ministry of Defense, Government of India, and the Ministry of Armed Forces, French Republic, on defense space partnership. A memorandum of understanding was signed between New Space India Limited and Ariane Space SAS, French Republic, to set up an assembly line for H-125 helicopters in India. Framework arrangement on cooperation concerning funding of research projects, declaration of intent in the field of health and medicine, public administration, and administrative reforms and sustainable urban development also exchanged. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and French President Macron reaffirmed their shared vision of declaring 2026 as India-France Year of Innovation. Operationalization of Unified Payment Interface at Eiffel Tower, setting up of Solar Academy in Senegal, establishment of India's consulate in Marseille and French Bureau in Hyderabad were also discussed. Operationalization of Young Professional Scheme and 5-year validity Schengen visa for Indian masters alumni of French institutions were also highlighted. India also extended its support to France for United Nations Ocean Conference.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the annual NCC PM rally at the Karyappa Parade Ground in Delhi on Saturday. The event will include a cultural program on the theme Amrit Kal Ki NCC, showcasing contribution and empowerment of the Amrit PD. In the true Indian spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, more than 2,200 NCC cadets and young cadets from 24 foreign countries will be part of this year's rally. As special guests, more than 400 heads of the vibrant villages and more than 100 women belonging to self-help groups from different parts of the country will be attending the NCC PM rally. On the Israel-Hamas conflict now, the United Nations has launched a probe against UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees for their alleged involvement in Hamas's unprecedented October 7th attacks on southern communities. The acquisitions made by Israel resulted in several employees being sacked. The US has also shown their concern towards the allegations and said it would provide no additional funding to the agency until the allegations were addressed. The United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestinian Refugees chief has assured that any UNRWA employees who were involved in acts of terror will be held accountable, including through criminal prosecution.
And comprehensive independent review of UNRWA will be conducted, as it has been announced by Philippe Lazzarini, the Commissioner General of UNRWA, back on 17 January. To protect the agency's ability to deliver humanitarian assistance, Commissioner General Lazzarini has taken the decision to immediately terminate the contracts of all these staff members and launch an investigation in order to establish the truth without delay. Any employee of UNRWA who is involved in acts of terror will be held accountable, including through criminal prosecution.
While the White House spokesperson John Kirby has said that the U.S. is hopeful about progress in talks to release hostages held by Hamas and are in continuous efforts to secure their release.
President Biden spoke with Qatari Emir Sheikh Al Thani and Egyptian President Al Sisi. As a matter of fact, that second call with President Al Sisi just wrapped up here a little bit ago to discuss the latest developments in Israel and in Gaza, including our efforts to secure the release of all the hostages taken by Hamas. We're hopeful about the progress, but I do not expect, we should not expect, any imminent developments.
Well, Israel's operation offensives continued in Gaza as its military killed at least 11 terrorists in Gaza's Khan Yunis area. According to the Israeli authorities, the forces targeted terrorists who were trying to plant explosives near Israeli troops and others firing rifles and rocket-propelled grenades at soldiers. Moreover, in an early morning retaliation, Israel struck a number of launches from Hezbollah with artillery fire on Saturday. IDF fighter jets attacked two Hezbollah infrastructure and a Hezbollah military compound in southern Lebanon. As Houthis escalate their Red Sea attacks, the rebel group hit on a fuel tanker operated on behalf of trading firm Trafigura that sparked a fire. In a statement, Trafigura said that a missile struck the fuel tanker Martin Luanda, operating on its behalf as it transited the Red Sea. Firefighting equipments were used to suppress and control the fire caused in one cargo tank on the starboard side. Earlier, the United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations Agency and British maritime security firm Ambrey said that they had received reports of vessels being struck in the Red Sea near Yemen's Gulf of Aden and a fire breaking out on board. In retaliation, the U.S. military destroyed a Houthi anti-ship missile that was aimed into the Red Sea and ready to launch 8 hours after the Houthi attack. The U.S. military reported that no injury from the earlier Houthi attack on the oil tanker. Donald Trump, meanwhile, was handed a stinging defeat on Friday by a Manhattan jury that ordered him to pay $83.3 million to the writer Jean Carroll, who said he destroyed her reputation as a trustworthy journalist. The 9-person jury awarded Carroll $18.3 million in compensatory damages, including $11 million for harm to her reputation. The jurors also awarded $65 million in punitive damages, which Carroll said were needed to stop Trump from continuing to defame her. The sum that the former U.S. president was ordered to pay far exceeds the minimum of $10 million that Carroll had sought. Trump attended most of the trial but was not in the courtroom to hear the verdict. Trump said on a social media post that he will appeal against the order. Moving on, Alabama has ordered assistance to other U.S. states seeking to carry out executions using aspirations by nitrogen gas after pioneering the new method to execute Kenneth Smith, a prisoner condemned for the 1988 murder. Attorney General Steve Marshall said 43 other people on death row had chosen this particular method over lethal injections since lawmakers approved the method in 2018. Alabama called the new method humane, while human rights groups condemned it as cruel and torturous. Nearly half of the U.S. states have abolished the death penalty, but for other states, the main method remains lethal injections.
Tremendous thanks to Commissioner John Hamm and his dedicated team at the Alabama Department of Corrections. As everyone in this room knows, they are the first team in the country to carry out nitrogen execution, and what occurred last night was textbook. They deserve a great deal of thanks and credit for being willing to be the one to step up first in the country to do so, and I now suspect that many states will follow. And to my colleagues across the country, many of which were watching last night, Alabama has done it, and now so can you. And we stand ready to assist you in implementing this method in your states.
Well, the White House called the execution with nitrogen gas in Alabama deeply troubling.
And his death last night obviously is troubling. It is very troubling to us as an administration. It is very troubling to us here at the White House. It underscores why the president support the Attorney General's moratorium on federal death penalty, pending review of the policies and procedures governing its use. The president has long said and has had deep concerns with how the death penalty is implemented and whether it is consistent with our values.
Still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Russia says it's downed a Ukrainian Su-25 aircraft as fighting between the two countries escalate. Bolivia launches new international tender for companies to extract lithium from the country's salt flats.
Wherever news breaks, whatever it takes.
Connecting corners, cutting across continents.
Stories that matter from across the globe.
Accurate, authentic journalism that serves you right. From politics to glamour, from sports to world affairs, with a fusion of aesthetics and substance. Introducing news in a new avatar. Experience the world through a new lens. Stay tuned to DD India for an exciting journey beyond borders.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Anil Thomas. Russia's counterattack against Ukraine continued as it downed a Ukrainian Su-25 attack aircraft. Russia reportedly carried out over a dozen cluster strikes on military targets of Ukraine over the past week. The troops conducted strikes with long-range precision-guided weapons and drones and repelled offensives in the direction of Donetsk region. Meanwhile, Ukrainian troops claim that it had repelled multiple attacks from the Russian side in the past 24 hours. The United States is encouraging Hungary to move forward quickly with Sweden's NATO membership. Hungary is the only NATO member that has not ratified Sweden's application to join the military alliance after the Turkish parliament ratified Stockholm's application and President Tayyip Erdogan signed off on the approval on Thursday.
I'd like to just take a moment to welcome Turkey's approval of Sweden's application to join NATO this week. As many of you know, the Turkish parliament voted to approve the articles of ratification on Tuesday. President Erdogan signed those documents yesterday, and we're expecting the instruments of ratification to arrive in Washington, D.C. very, very soon to be deposited at the State Department as per process. We certainly encourage Hungary to move forward with their process quickly so that the alliance can welcome Sweden into NATO without further delay.
In France, protesting farmers set tires and waste on fire on a highway as they rallied against the government's plan to gradually reduce state subsidies on agricultural diesel. The demonstrators accused the authorities of not doing enough to help them in tackling unfair competition from neighboring countries. The government has announced that it would drop plans to phase out state support on diesel, but has not been enough to assuage farmers who have threatened to converge on the capital, Paris, in their tractors. Colombia recalled its ambassador to Argentina for consultations on Friday after Argentinian President Javier Milei delivered a scathing attack on his Colombian counterpart, Gustavo Petro. Referring to Milei's comments at a government event, Colombia's first leftist president Petro said those attacking him have no idea what communism is or what socialism is. Colombia's foreign ministry released a statement saying Milei's comments violate the deep ties of friendship, understanding and cooperation that have historically united Colombia and Argentina. After Kenya's High Court blocked the United Nations-backed deployment of Kenyan police forces to Haiti to help fight criminal gangs in the Caribbean country, Haitians call for government or rather homegrown solutions to the country's law and order crisis. The decision comes after the case of 6 Catholic nuns from Canada who were kidnapped in the nation's capital nearly a week ago and later released shook the entire country. The ruling will set to increase troubles for Haiti's government as it has been requesting for an international-led mission to help curb violence and also restore government control over the armed gangs. Bolivia's government has launched a new international tender for companies to extract lithium from the country's salt flats. The tender from Bolivian state-owned lithium company YLB seeks to develop projects in various salt flats in the Altiplano region, which includes 3 of the South American country's biggest lithium reserves. Speaking at an event on Friday, the Energy Minister, Franklin Molina, said that the government aimed to extract, or rather, the government aims to attract companies using cutting-edge technology for industrial-scale lithium production and also extraction.
Undoubtedly, we are attending this important launch of an international call aimed at companies that have, due to their cutting-edge technology, the possibility of working with our state. Without a doubt, the objective is for them to actively join this technology, which is direct lithium extraction, which due to its characteristics allows us to develop projects that are part of the YLB portfolio in the Bolivian salt flats.
Well, several regions across the world are currently facing severe weather phenomena. San Diego, generally known for its mild, sunny weather, was cleaning up on Friday after the heaviest ever rainfall was recorded in the city in the month of Jan. The heavy rainfall washed away parked cars, flooded homes, and closed a stretch of the highway. Firefighters and lifeguards are working to rescue dozens of people from flash floods in a city that is often touted as having the most pleasant weather in the United States. The rainfall produced the city's 4th wettest day on record and is not far behind the all-time record of 3.34 inches recorded way back in 1854. In southern Peru, landslide set off by heavy rains have killed at least 2 people, leaving behind a trail of destruction that wrecked homes. The landslide hit the district of Maracabamba, where the victims were an elderly woman and her daughter who were buried in mud in their home. According to an official there from Marcabamba. In central Peru, floodwaters entered homes, destroying belongings and knocking walls down. Heavy rains have caused the river to overflow, cutting off access to the province capital after the collapse of a highway. In Huánuco, the country's central north region, cargo vehicles were trapped after an avalanche blocked a road. Wildfire smoke from a hill around the Colombian capital of Bogota shrouded the city on Friday, prompting authorities to raise alert levels over worsening air quality. Areas of the capital such as Bosa and Kennedy, Ponta Grande and Ciudad Bolivar have received air quality alerts from officials, with city mayor urging citizens to stay at home. Colombia is in the grip of wildfires, while 11 fires are classified as under control. 34 continue to burn, according to officials. Locals and tourists enjoyed unseasonal warm weather at Madrid's Retiro Park on Friday, in the middle of Spain's winter. However, locals are also worried about the spring-like temperature could mean that the summer season can become unbearable. By midday on Friday, the temperatures in the capital had reached 23 degrees Celsius. The Meteorological Service said that the expected temperatures to reach 28 degrees Celsius in parts of southern Spain. Last year was the second warmest on record in Spain, with consecutive heat waves causing droughts along with wildfires. Well, as we are celebrating the strength, resilience and achievements of women empowerment and spearheading efforts for gender equality and women-led development, higher education in India has also witnessed significant progress in terms of female enrollment, which is the establishment of new institutions in the last 5 years. Let's take a look.
According to the Ministry of Education's All India Survey on Higher Education 2021-22, the total enrollment in higher education has increased to nearly 4.33 crore in 2021-22 from 4.14 crore in 2020-2021. Female enrollment in higher education has increased to 2.07 crore in 2021-2022 from 1.57 crore in 2014-15. An increase of 44% has been seen in the enrollment of SC students. There has been a significant increase of 80% since 2014-15 in enrollment of ST female students. There is also a notable increase in OBC student enrollment since 2014-15 of around 50.8 lakhs. The total student enrollment in Northeast states is 12.02 lakhs in 2021-22 as compared to 9.36 lakhs in 2014-15. About 78.9% of total students are enrolled in undergraduate level courses and 12.1% are enrolled in postgraduate level courses. The total number of pass-outs has increased to 1.07 crore in 2021-22 as against 95.4 lakhs in 2020-2021. The total number of university-level institutions registered is 1,168, 45,473 colleges, and 12,002 standalone institutions. 17 universities and 4,470 colleges are exclusively for women.
Well, time now for updates from the world of sports. Starting first up with cricket and Hyderabad Test. Day 3 of it, England versus India. England have made a positive start in the second innings of the opening Test match against India. But Indian pacer Jasprit Bumrah's 2 quick wickets have halted England's momentum on Day 3. Currently, England has scored 172 runs for the loss of 5 wickets at tea. Ollie Pope is still out there with wicketkeeper Ben Foakes. Pope has slammed a 50 of 54 deliveries. In reply to England's first innings score of 246, India were bowled out for 436 in the second innings, resuming at an overnight score of 421 for 7. Jadeja and Akshar Patel shared 78 runs for the 8th wicket to hand India a big 190-run first innings lead over the visitors. Moving on to the 6th edition of Khelo India Youth Games in the southern part of India in Tamil Nadu. 9th day of the games saw an action-packed day in hockey. Men's and women's teams played their finals representing Haryana, where swimmers battle it out for the coveted title from today, and wrestlers will put their best moves on the mat. Till now, Maharashtra has managed to remain at the top of the points table. However, as the day progresses, more number of medals will decide the fate of the athletes and the states in the race. Well, women are leading from the front in shooting at the Khelo India Youth Games. Deepika Mato got an exclusive conversation with the gold, silver and bronze medalist of the 50-meter rifle 3-pistol event to know more about their journey and the challenges they have faced in their sporting journey.
We now have with us all the 3 medalists of women category 50-meter 3-position event who've got a gold, silver and a bronze medal here at the 6th edition of Khelo India Youth Games. First of all, many congratulations to you. Tell us about yourself.
So I'm Anushka H. Thokur, studying in 11th grade. I'm from Bangalore, Karnataka.
Karnataka. And is this your first Khelo India Youth Games medal?
No, yes, this is my first Khelo India Youth Games medal. But I participated in Khelo India last year also.
And also, this is your second Khelo India Youth Games medal. First, introduce yourself. Tell us about your journey so far.
My name is Melvina Angel and I'm from Tamil Nadu. I'm doing first year B Civil Engineering in Velamal College of Engineering and Technology. I train in Madurai Rifle Club and Gun for Glory Centers. So this is my second Khelo India Youth Games, and previous year I got a gold medal. So this year I got a silver medal. But I'm still happy that I'm still on the podium finish.
And indeed, women are creating a new mark every day when we talk about Khelo India Youth Games participation. Maharashtra has always been the table toppers when we talk about different editions of Khelo India Youth Games. You've got a bronze medal. How the experience has been so far for you?
This was a really good experience. The finals, the match, the qualification, everything was really good. And I would really like to thank my coaches and everyone supporting out there for the games. And it was a huge thing for me too.
In the past 3-4 years, sports has really changed and transformed rather when we talk about Maharashtra. What do you have to say about the facilities that you are getting there in Maharashtra?
Maharashtra is providing good facilities, but I feel in shooting there is still scope of improvements for facilities in like whatever you offer to the sports person, diet and everything. It has a scope of improvement. But yes, the state is supporting its athletes and progressing.
Tamil Nadu is hosting Khelo India Youth Games for the very first time. What was the excitement level for the players over here?
Actually, like, this is the first time a big sport event is happening in Tamil Nadu, and I'm so happy that the government is taking initiative for sports. And I also want to say we need more support from the government for our developments.
And also Veera Mangai, the women, the freedom fighter is the mascot. Does that inspire you being a woman?
Yes, of course. That inspires me a lot because Veera Mangai means brave women. So as we women here, we all feel like proud. And
when we talk about brave women, what are your next goals?
My next goal is getting into the Indian team. And yes.
All right, so these are the women medalists of Khelo India Youth Games. They are coming from different parts of the country, but leaving no stone unturned to create a historic mark for themselves at this edition of Khelo India. With camera person Senthil, this is Deepika reporting for DD India from Chennai.
Well, moving to the Australian Open, the first Grand Slam of the year played on the hard courts of Melbourne. Rohan Bopanna and Matthew Ebden will take on Simon Bolelli and Andre Vavasori in the men's doubles final. Bopanna is also the new world #1 in men's doubles, which makes him the oldest player to claim the position for the first time in his career.
India's Rohan Bopanna will become the oldest tennis world #1 aged 43 after he and Matthew Ebden defeated Argentine pair Maximo Gonzalez and Andres Molteni at the Australian Open. Bopanna will go top of the doubles ranking for the first time on Monday. Bopanna became the oldest ATP Masters 1000 champion when he and Ebden won the Indian Wells doubles title in March last season. He turned professional in 2003 and has won 1 Grand Slam mixed doubles titles alongside Canada's Gabriela Dabrowski at the 2017 French Open. Bopanna credited his physiotherapist and Iyengar Yoga with helping his longevity. Bopanna will move to the top of the world rankings when they are updated on Monday. He and Ebden have the same number of points, but the Australian has played 3 more tournaments over the same period. The previous oldest men's doubles #1 was Mike Bryan, who was 41 years and 76 days. Serena Williams is the oldest women's singles number 1 at 35, while Roger Federer is the oldest men's single number 1 at 36. Novak Djokovic, who is the same age, could likely pass that record this year. David Wagner was 44 in 2018 when he was ranked number 1 in the quad wheelchair rankings.
Well, staying with Australian Open and the men's singles, Daniil Medvedev rallied from 2 sets to love down for the 4th time in his career to pip longtime rival Alexander Zverev in a tense 5-set thriller to book a place in the Australian Open men's singles final on Friday. Medvedev defeated Zverev 5-7, 3-6, 7-6, 7-6, 6-3 to reach his 3rd Australian Open final. Meeting for the 19th time, but first at a major, Medvedev was 2 points away from defeat in the 4th set tie-break, but stayed composed, eventually advancing to his 6th Grand Slam title match after a 4-hour, 18-minute epic inside a lively Rod Laver arena. Medvedev will now play Jannik Sinner, who earlier ended Novak Djokovic's reign at Melbourne Park. Moving to more international stories, North Korea and China agreed to strengthen tactical cooperation and defend common interest as senior envoys meet, according to the state media reports on Saturday. On Friday, China said the two countries pledged to strengthen strategic communications at all levels and reaffirmed unswavering stance on deepening ties as Chinese Vice Foreign Minister Sun Wing-dong met his North Korean counterpart Park Myung-hoo in Pyongyang. Sun arrived in Pyongyang on Thursday, passing through the city of Sinju on the border of the two countries. It was the latest exchange by North Korea with China and Russia, while it steps up confrontations with the United States and South Korea. Taiwan's defense ministry said on Saturday it had detected 11 Chinese military planes crossing the Taiwan Strait median line in the last 24 hours. The ministry on Friday reported 23 Chinese Air Force planes operating around Taiwan, carrying out joint combat readiness patrols with Chinese warships ahead of the high-level China-US talks in Thailand. The first batch of self-driving police patrol vehicles have been approved for road tests in China's Beijing. The cars will help the police to perform their duties in an efficient way. The vehicles carry security and rescue equipment on road, which include explosion-proof clothing, fire extinguisher, along with first aid kit, and police officers can open their doors remotely to respond to emergency situations. As the migration situation worsens in Mexico, hundreds of migrants formed a new caravan on Friday northbound towards the United States to escape poverty and violence back home. Last year, a record number of migrants attempted to cross the US-Mexico border illegally, which for many was a culmination of a long journey across the continent. Well, let's take a look at some more stories making news around the world. John Galliano marks his return to the Paris Couture Week with a Spring Collection 2024 Haute Couture collection for Maison Margiela. The show was held under the Pont Alexandre 3 bridge in the center of Paris. The catwalk showcased corsets and headpieces in various fabrics, predominantly in neutral tones. The first known piece of mail sent using a postage stamp is about to hit the Sotheby's New York auction. The penny black stamp dates to May 2nd, 1840, that features the young Queen Victoria's head in profile. Sotheby's estimate that it could sell for between $1.5 billion to $2.5 million. The live auction will take place on Feb 2nd in New York City. Thai Pusan Festival was celebrated in a harmonious atmosphere across Malaysia as thousands of Hindus gathered in temples to display their devotion and fulfill their promise. Over 2 million visitors were there from both Malaysia as well as international tourists who had come to enjoy and join the celebration. Each year, thousands of worshippers gather at the Batu Caves, 272 steps, to commemorate the religious event. Well, shifting our focus to India to mark this solemn occasion of India's 75th Republic Day, more than 450 participants from across the country attended the Republic Day parade and was later felicitated by the Union Minister Anurag Singh Thakur for their significant contribution towards nation building. Here's a detailed report.
These 450 participants coming from across the length and breadth of the country witnessed the magnificent Republic Day parade in the national capital's Kartavya Path as special invitees of the Prime Minister of India. They are no ordinary participants, but each one of them have made remarkable contribution towards nation building and making India one of the greatest nation. Union Minister Anurag Singh Thakur felicitated the special invitees on Friday for their remarkable contribution.
आपका काम आज आपकी पहचान बनी। आपने किसी अवार्ड लेने के लिए काम नहीं किया था। आपने भारत को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए अपना योगदान दिया था। और मुझे प्रसन्नता इस बात की है कि आपके कामकाज की पहचान किसी और नहीं, नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने अपनी सरकार में की है। इसके लिए आप सबको बहुत बहुत बधाई।
मैं देख रहा हूँ यहाँ पर मन की बात के लोग जम्मू से लेकर मणिपुर तक के, तमिलनाडु से लेकर गुजरात तक के लोग हैं। बहुत लोगों को प्रधानमंत्री जी के मन की बात में किसी न किसी विषय से जुड़ते हुए हमने सुना। मन की बात माने जो चीज़ें मीडिया की नज़र से भी छूट जाती हैं, जो चीज़ें लोगों की नज़र से भी छूट जाती हैं, पर भारत के जीवन में छोटे से छोटे आदमी का भारत को बनाने में जो योगदान है, उसको अगर किसी ने रिकॉग्नाइज किया है तो हमारे देश के हमारे प्रिय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी ने किया।
The special invitees, which also included a number of Padma awardees and many of whom have come from the far-flung hinterlands of India, have made significant changes in the lives of many.
In 2017 April, Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Bhai Modi ji, took my work Save the Sparrows in his Man Ki Baat 33rd episode. And it was an overwhelming experience and amazing to learn and understand all throughout that, you know, because of Man Ki Baat, the work has spreaded very fast on all over the world.
In the year 2018, I created Prasiddhi Forest Foundation. I was only 6 years old with the mission that I also want to plant 1 lakh trees. And it started, and when I planted 13,000 trees, I was so pleased to know that I've been recognized with the Pradhan Mantri Rashtra Bal Puraskar, Prime Minister National Child Awardee in 2021. So to promote it at this level, you know, to connect with them through Man Ki Baat, where the Honorable Prime Minister itself is talking to you and spreading the message, this is something really exceptional and motivational.
Many working for the environment, some to preserve traditional art forms and culture, and many to uplift the society. The recognition of their work by the Prime Minister will inspire generations to come.
I like to thank our Honorable Prime Minister. Because of my library initiative, I have been featured in his 106th edition of the Man Ki Baat program. I was really proud and happy. It was such a grateful and thankful moment for me, and I felt really happy, which motivated me and encouraged me to do further.
He mentioned about me in his 98th episode, Man Ki Baat, February that time, and so I'm the first female mandolin player, and I play a rare instrument, so he was very happy on that, and I feel very much proud and thankful to him for having mentioned my name in the esteemed Man Ki Baat program. So thank you so much, Modi ji.
over 300 special invitees by the Prime Minister's office who participated at the Kartavya Path, witnessed the Republic Day parade. These were the invitees that were mentioned by Prime Minister during his several episodes of Man Ki Baat for their work that they have been doing in their own villages or in the small towns. These unsung heroes today express their happiness of the fact that their work have been able to be recognized not just in India but across the world by the Prime Minister's voice through his Man Ki Baat. With camera person Sanjeev, this is Dibyendu Mondal from New Delhi for DD India.
Well, celebrating India's 75th Republic Day, the UAE's Minister of Artificial Intelligence, Digital Economy and Remote Work Applications, Umar Sultan, graced the occasion in Dubai, marking the 75th year of Republic Day celebrations. Consul General Satish Kumar Shivan highlighted India's ascending global prominence, attributing not only to economic advancement but also to its role as a global force for common goals. The festivities unfolded with a vibrant theme, One Nation, One Voice, featuring a stunning showcase of cultural performances which beautifully embodied the spirit of unity, diversity and harmony that have characterized the nation's 75-year journey. The National Day reception served as a platform for cultural exchange, reinforcing the commitment of both nations to progress and mutual growth. Bahrain celebrated the 75th Republic Day of India with a series of vibrant events. Minister of Foreign Affairs, Kingdom of Bahrain, Dr. Abdul Latif bin Rashid Al Zayani, graced the occasion as a chief guest, lauding the government of India and highlighting the deep-rooted bilateral relations between the two countries and expressing a mutual commitment to enhancing ties. The festivities began with the flag hosting ceremony and offering flowers to the father of a nation, followed by a cultural program. The celebrations not only honored India's historical milestone but also strengthened the bonds of friendship and cultural exchanges between India and Bahrain. The Embassy of India in Lithuania celebrated the 75th Republic Day for the first time with great fervor and joy. The opening of the embassy in Vilnius in March 2023 was a landmark in the bilateral relationship between the two countries and a testament to the commitment of both sides to further strengthen bilateral ties between the two nations. The Indian community in Lithuania has been steadily growing, with around 4,500 Indians mainly engaged in higher education, engineering and life sciences. Given that this was the inaugural celebration of Republic Day in Lithuania, the event received notable coverage in the media. Well, in Russia, the iconic building on Moscow's Novaya Bath Street was lit up in the Indian and Russian tricolor to celebrate the 75th Republic Day of India. Well, India and Saudi Arabia are set to begin the inaugural edition of the joint military exercise, Sada Tanishq, from the 29th of January to the 10th of Feb at the Mahajan Field Firing Range in the western Indian state of Rajasthan. The 14-day-long exercise aims to enhance synergy, interoperability and joint manship by learning and sharing best practices between the armies of both nations. Both sides are fielding 45 personnel each to participate in the exercise. Well, let's take a look at some other stories making news. Devotees in large numbers continue to throng the holy city of India's Ayodhya to offer prayers to Lord Ram. The temple trust has shared the newly timings of Aarti and Darshan for devotees. The devotees can now visit the temple after morning prayers from 7 a.m. Indian time. Rapid Action Force personnel have also been deployed in and around the temple to monitor the cardinal movement of devotees. Frost forms on plants and vehicles in Ooty in the southern Indian state of Tamil Nadu as minimum temperatures dips to 2.5 degrees Celsius this winter. Locals affected by the harsh chill predominantly stayed indoors, causing a noticeable impact on the daily activities, especially in the region. Well, devotees gather to mark the 3-day annual festival at India's Munniyandi Swami temple, where mixed rice Indian dish biryani is served as prasad. Locals believe that biryani is the favorable food of the deity Lord Munniyandi. And India's north-central state of Uttar Pradesh state government organized a 3-day Bundelkhand Gaurav Mahotsav with an aim of promoting tourists in India's Bundelkhand region by showcasing the historical, cultural and religious heritage of the region. Government is making all efforts to make Jhansi the center point of tourism in Bundelkhand. Well, preparations for the book fair at Bangla Academy and the Swadway Udyan premises in Dhaka are underway in full swing ahead of the month-long event. Workers and people concerned are now busy to raise stalls and pavilions. Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina will inaugurate the month-long book fair on the 1st of Feb. The book fair, first began in 1972, has kept gaining glory, momentum and extravaganza with participation of people from all walks of life. Lebanon's parliament has passed an amended budget for 2024 amid criticism that it did not include crucial reforms that would help the country recover from an unprecedented economic collapse. The draft was passed after 3 days of heated exchanges in the parliament's chamber, with caretaker Prime Minister Najib Nikhati highlighting the deep political divisions in the country. The budget includes measures to fine companies which unfairly benefit from the central bank's previous currency exchange platform. Since 2019, Lebanon has been battling an economic crisis that has left over 80% of the population below the poverty line. The world's largest cruise ship, Royal Caribbean Icon on the Seas, is set for its maiden voyage on Saturday. With a capacity of around 10,000 passengers, the ship features 8 neighborhoods with unique themes, including central parks with live plants and restaurants. It also features an innovative water park with 6 slides and tubing experiences. The ship also offers over 40 restaurants and bars, catering to a wide range of tastes and preferences. The Cherry Blossom Garden at Hong Kong's International Airport opens to visitors on Saturday. The early arrival of the cherry blossoms in Hong Kong is serving as a send-off to the cold weather and a symbol to the start of the Chinese New Year. Owing to warmer weather, a few days back, the blossoms had an early start, with at least 1/3 of them having already bloomed. Well, that's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and Instagram. You can visit our website, ddindia.co.in. We're going to be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I am Anil Thomas. From all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.